What up, my peeps? It's your Knucka Big Rucker back at you again with another dinosaur model review, this time courtesy of Nanmu Studio. What we have introducing to you Calypso and Santiago, the Baryonyx couple. Now you're probably saying, Baryonyx, what the hell is that? Looks like a Spinosaur to me without a sail. And you would be right on both counts. They are Spinosaurs. They're just not Spinosaurus. They're in the family though, and a lot smaller, I might add. Baryonyx, to give you a little bit of history on them real quick. They were discovered in fossils of this species was found in the UK. Baryonyx, which by the way is my favorite dinosaur name. It doesn't end in saurus or ceratops or anything like that. Baryonyx just sounds crazy to me. Real quick, Baryonyx stands for heavy claw. And if you look at the forearms of Santiago, he's the male and he's on the bottom. You can see on his forelimbs, he's got big claws. A couple of big claws, the index fingers, if you will, are those claws are pretty big, and that's from which this species was named, Baryonyx. Anyway, getting back to it, they were discovered in the United Kingdom, and they were theorized to have lived 130 to 125 million years ago, at the beginning of the Cretaceous period. So they were long gone before any Tyrannosaurus rexes appeared, and T-Rexes, they were never in the UK anyway. So there's that. Give an idea of what this species ate. They lived in the same region as Iguanodon, which is on the docket for me to review. If you don't have an idea of who Iguanodon is, you'll know soon enough from me. But if you want to know sooner, just think about the movie Dinosaur. The lead character, Alidor, if I'm not mistaken, was his name. That was an Iguanodon. So now you get an idea of what those species were. And yeah, so it wasn't just carnivores that hunted iguanodons. These guys did too, and among other things. But as you see, there's a pair of them. That's because this is one set, and it isn't finished. It was one set, cost it was sold as a display, and it came in 3 boxes. Now you're saying, okay, first you trip us out with the name Ruck with Baryonyx, never heard of that before. Now you're saying there's 3. Have you lost your mind? Have you forgotten to count? No, I haven't, because it also comes with a base, and they sent that separately as well. So what we're going to do is take the boxes off of my display stand here, and we're going to start going through them, beginning with the base. And just to show you guys, as always, Nanmu packs their figures and bases with the utmost care, and it looks like it's premium, and it is. These Nanmu Studio is not a run-of-the-mill dinosaur company. As I stated in previous videos, I only collect the higher end because they look more realistic, the most realistic out of all of the dinosaur companies out there. And there are a few of them, and they're all good, but there are a few companies, Nanmu, which they do depict their models realistically, even though they tend to favor the Jurassic kind of style. And we'll see upon further review if the Baryonyx actually follows that pattern. You may or may not recall in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, there was a Baryonyx that had made its way through tunnels into that underground lair that Claire and that Smith boy found themselves in. That was a Baryonyx. Probably, recognize that now. And so we'll see if either of these two that I have kind of look like the ones in Jurassic World. And there are telltale signs, which I will explain when we get to the dinos themselves. But anyway, as far as the base goes, I'm going to remove it from the housing here, which is pretty good. A piece fell out. I wonder where that came from. It's nothing. It's a piece of the foam. And looking at the base is all of that. It's you see there's a clutch of eggs there, and they actually are spotted. That's cool. Let's see how nice that is. Yeah, there are 6 eggs, circular, and you see the detail on the base. It's like they're on some type of rocky area. It looks pretty nice. You've got some paint there to show the dirt. There's a peg for, I'm assuming, Santiago, because he's the standing Baryonyx. And then looking at the sides, it's looking very, very nice. Very nice. You got some nice paint detail in there. On the bottom, it just says Santiago and Calypso, and has the name of the company there in the language which I cannot speak. So I'm not going to even try to pretend. So I'll set that down, and I'll figure out what direction I should have it in to begin with. I think I've got it. I may have it in the right direction, but we will see. Next up, I've opened up Calypso, the female, and she came with this insert that has a nice illustration of a Baryonyx. It's looking like it wants to go after that silhouette there. Looks like some kind of pterodactyl, and it looks like that Baryonyx wants to engage. So that's pretty good looking. On the flip side, we get this information sheet, if you will, that shows the Baryonyx. It's in the language, so I'm not going to attempt to read it. I can assume it's speaking on its length. It's showing its forelimbs right here. Those claws for which it's named Heavy Claw that I was telling you about. It's showing its gait with its mouth, and it's showing a fish by comparison to prehistoric fish from that time, which if that's to scale, that's a pretty big sucker. I didn't mention that the size of a Baryonyx, I did mention that it's smaller, way smaller than a Spinosaur, but Baryonyx grew from 25 to 33 feet long. So it was a pretty big boy. It was basically a mid to large size carnivore at that 25 to 33 foot range, because there were definitely theropods smaller, but there were most definitely theropods that were larger than that 33 foot length there, which is sizable to say the least. And now I understand why that leaflet had an illustration of a fish in it. It actually comes with a model of it, and I have to assume, because they came with this, that this is to scale. So these were pretty dang large. They had to be at least 5 feet long in real life, I'd have to assume. But as you say, it's just molded in this white. It does have detail. It has it's got the lines showing the scales of the fish. In fact, let's take a closer look so you can see, because this white is definitely distracting from being able to see whatever detail is with this fish. All right, looking at this fish close up, you have to look really carefully to see eyes there, but they are there. They are there. I'm going to show you. I've got the camera. I've got the fish dead center in the camera, so you should be able to see the imprint of the eyes. But we won't stay too long on that. You'll just have to take my word for it. But you can see the scalation there, and you see that that's a raking, a laceration from it being raked by the Baryonyx, a Baryonyx, and then there are 3 more right there. So. I guess I stated that they fed on iguanodon, but they are spinosaurs, so they were pescivorian. In other words, they ate fish as well, and it probably was their primary diet. For to be quite honest, their snouts were more designed for spearing in the water and grabbing fish. And if I'm not mistaken, the teeth were the way how they were shaped. They were shaped to that as they bit on a fish that they caught and kept, trying to get it positioned in its mouth. The teeth were designed to draw the prey back into its mouth to make it easier. So yeah, a little something there. You can see the fins. So yeah, and on this other side here, there's that scalation. So you can see that fish was taken out on this side. So pretty cool. It's got its fins, its rear fins, dorsal style at the top there. I don't know if it's called dorsal when it's at the top, but it's at the top, so I went with that. But it's got the flipper there. So yeah, pretty nice accessory. And here we have Calypso herself, the female Baryonyx. And as you see, she's in a prone pose. She's lying. I'm assuming, this is basically in her mother mode. She's nesting beside her clutch of eggs. Looking at her forearms, that's the first thing I want to address. It'll be more apparent with Santiago because he's standing. But you see how her forearms, or I should say the claws, her paws or hands, how they're coming inward. That's the way theropods really held their forearms. They did not have them pronated, which means that they wouldn't be, I'll use my hand to show what I'm talking about here. Theropods would be like this. They were incapable of doing this, but if you look at any Jurassic movie, you see that, especially with the velociraptors, their hands are like this, what we call bunny rabbit style, or pronated, but they were not really that way. So you could see she's got very nice paintwork there. Look at that. Her the scoots on her back. They did, a lot of times what they do with Spinosaurian figures is because of their skulls looking so much like crocodiles or alligators, they always seem to make the body of the animal in some shape or form crocodilian, as you can see right here with the scales and the scoots on her back. Just, it looks like it would be a crocodile. She the head sculpt is looking very nice. The teeth in the mouth looking good, so you could see it better. Look at her eyes painted very nicely. She's got a very good color. They did their thing. The striping going down the ridge of her snout there. Her teeth, the jaw, I believe. Nope, no articulation there. It is as it is, so you got to just look at the teeth that way, but they're all individually sculpted and painted. Very nice. Very nice. And you see, I don't know if you can look, if you can see it like how I can, especially when I have the figure this close up. This is why I get the premium figures, because if I were to just take a snapshot of that, I'm quite sure if I could work it, somebody would think that this was a living animal. That just looks great right there. You gotta love it. Going down, you can see she's got it going on. The laying pose. Looking at the other side of her, it just looks pretty nice. You can see all that detail close up there. You see the scales. It's going on for real. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what way she should go on the stand. I think that's the right way, but then again, that doesn't make sense because Santiago would be over there. I think you can just place Santiago any kind of way you can, but I want to get her and Santiago in a nice pose just to get us started. So let me do it like this, and that looks more accurate. She's like hovering over her eggs now. So yeah, that's what we got for now. Santiago comes with a stand of his own, which when I saw that, since I was in between takes here, I looked it up, and yeah, I didn't even know that because I saw this set as is, so I went right for it. But if someone chose, they could get Santiago by himself, which makes sense because he is standing. So he does come with his own stand, and it is the same, similar terrain. It has different paint apps on the top there to make it look a little bit more dirty, which is cool. Still rocky, and it has a peg in there to stick Santiago in. We'll look at him by himself at some point here. And then of course the same thing at the bottom there. You've got the Nanmu Studios logo, and it's I wouldn't be surprised if one of those words is Santiago, the Baryonyx, which is crazy because it doesn't look like it would be that long, but hey, it is what it is. Very nice base. Santiago also comes with the same leaflet that Calypso came with, both sides. And I wasn't even thinking about it when I saw it the first time with Calypso, but that Baryonyx in this illustration is Santiago, as you'll see momentarily. So this is actually not a Baryonyx, but of Santiago, the Baryonyx, the male Baryonyx that we get with this set. So I figured I'd show Baryonyx, Santiago, the Baryonyx, by himself first, because since he is a self-contained set, as in the model and a stand all on his own, I figured I'd give him his shine right now. So as I stated, that this is the same Baryonyx that we saw in this illustration here. So there it is. All we need is a pterosaur, and it'll make that that own personal diorama complete. But so he stands nicely on that peg. You see he's in that very, very active pose. You gotta love that. And let's take a closer look at Santiago. So here we have Santiago up close and personal. And as you see, he's got his mouth open. And strangely enough, these are the first theropod models that I've gotten where the jaws weren't articulated. So these are definitely models. So there's no posing. They come as they are, and that's how you get it in. But looking at Santiago, that head sculpt once again is just it's fire. Look at the red eye and pupil there. Look at because the mouth is open, you see the skin that connects the upper and lower jaw looking nice and wet there. And speaking of looking wet, look inside that mouth, and you see that tongue there is looking pretty wet there. See if I can get us to see the roof of his mouth. Oh yeah, and you can see all of that detail looking very, very nice there, very realistic. Once again, teeth sculpted individually and put in the mouth, and painted a very nasty looking yellow. You need to see your dentist, Santiago. Word up. You probably kill Calypso with that breath, but then she's probably killing you with hers, huh? Anyway, looking at the rest of the model here, you can see that Santiago is colored distinctively different from Calypso, a darker color, which is I find that kind of unusual. Especially with reptiles, the males are usually more colorful than the females. But and that's just, going off of what we know with today's animals, today's reptiles, today's birds, which are dinosaurs, by the way, just evolved. But looking at the coloration here, it's pretty nice anyway. Look at the scalation on the legs right there. His claws painted very nice. You can see even the dew claw, which are claws that are they're the fourth claw, or the first claw, the first toe, if you will, on theropods, and they never touch the ground. They're recessed way above, and those are painted pretty nicely. His forearms, their claws, see right there, that's where Baryonyx derives its name from. Look at the size of that index claw right there. So you see what I'm talking about. And speaking of that, pulling forward like that, no, they've got the arms placed the way they should be, with the claws are turned inward, facing one another, which is the way they should be, and not the bunny rabbit style that you see in Jurassic Park. Looking at the bottom, since we're already here, you see the nice scalation down there. Looks very nice. Other side there, once again the top, that crocodilian style that they do with the scoots. So I'm saying, just like a crocodile, all the way down, almost to the end of the tail there. And it starts all the way right at the beginning of the neck. And he's got that snoot, like I said. Look at that that red eye, red with the black pupil. It's pretty nice. It's just a very nice figure. Very nice figure. So there is the close-up once again of Santiago, the Baryonyx. So now I've got Calypso on the base back in frame, and so we're going to see what we can do with Santiago in terms of his placement here. So the peg is over on this side, our right. So I'm going to just plant Santiago there, so we can go with that. That's looking pretty smooth like that. So you can spin him any kind of way, right? We can have him going away, which means I'll have to move this over some, and probably move him a little bit so he can stay in frame. We could have him looking that way, like he's warding off potential egg robbers. Let's see if we spin him around. We spin him around that way, and then let me tilt that way, and that's a pretty good angle as well. Spin him a little bit more this way. Yeah, looks pretty cool. I think the only way this will look bad is if I were to turn it and Calypso would have her back towards us. But maybe if I change Calypso around, let's see what that will bring us. So give me a second here. Yeah, after toiling around with it, the best that could be done would be to have her just have her tail in front of Santiago instead of behind, and now it's just hanging off. And I mean, technically she's hovering even more so over her eggs. There's more of her body closer to the eggs instead of just her head. So you set it up however you want. And also there's also you got to also think about how much space it would take, because I've just actually elongated this display from end to end here. I'm settling on this. It's how I'm going to display this couple, Baryonyx. Yes, indeed. Looking at them together, they look great. They're same species, but you see the sexual dimorphism with the colors. And I wish I could see something else. If Nanmu Studio did something else to, get you to be able to see what's male and what's female. But no, nothing really. The best I can say, and I'm probably just manifesting that myself, is Santiago's snout seems to be just a little bit thicker than Calypso's. But I think that, once again, I think I'm just telling myself that, trying to find something that separates the genders outside of the color. But the color it is. So that's what we're going to go with. And speaking of going, I'm going to go now. I wanted to bring you guys this. It's pretty nice, this display. As far as the length of the display, I wonder if I should get that in there before I bounce. Yeah, I think I will. Once again, I've been neglecting taking size measurements. Last few videos I haven't measured the sizes of the figures. That seems to always slip my mind. I don't know why. I already told you guys I was going to get better at it, and looks like I'm reverting into my old bad habits. But I'm going to try to correct that starting now. We're going to do this the hard way, just with them as is. The female Baryonyx Calypso is about 9.5 inches long. Of course, her head is turned, so I can't get an accurate measurement of what she would be. The same thing with Santiago, as I turn him that way. And it's only going to be temporary, guys, with showing his face on camera. I'm going to hand it the right way. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, from the tip of his tail to where his head turns, he's about 10 inches. So there is a slight size difference. So that's probably the other way of knowing which gender they are. The females are probably smaller than the males. But yeah, pretty nice. As far as the height, I didn't even do that. I'm just going to go with Santiago since he's standing up. Taking it from the base portion, he is about, looking at it the wrong way. We can't have that, can we? I'm not cutting that out. We build it as we fly. It tells you that we do it real here, that we're human. We make mistakes, and we own it. Anyway, Santiago is standing at about 3.5 inches tall off of the base. You include the base, he's almost 4.5 inches tall. Calypso, just because she's up there chilling at her tallest point, she's nearly 3 inches. But she is in the prone position, so that has to be taken into consideration. Anyway, it's enough consideration for one video. Wanted to bring you this. This is Calypso and Santiago, the Baryonyx couple from Nanmu Studio. And very nice display. I'm loving the colors. The dimorphism to try to show the difference between male and female. The clutch of eggs, the base is banging. The paint apps on the eggs are great. They're speckled, so that's pretty cool too. And to make it complete, I will throw in the fish right there. And so that's everything that came with this set on the display. It's looking great. Now I have the first world problem of figuring out where I'm going to put it. So once again, good problems to have. So anyhow, I'm going to end it right there. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Definitely do that. Please like. It helps the algorithm big time. More people will come and watch, and we get them to like and to subscribe. Even more will come because my videos will show up in more search and recommendations and things of that nature. So please help a brother out. Like, share, and most definitely subscribe, guys. On behalf of Calypso and Santiago, this is the Ruck Nest Monster signing off, saying, until next time, my peeps, remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.